Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. NHL 96. I've never watched Heated Rivalry, so no joke here. For all the different sports games we've been looking at over the years, hockey has only come up once before, and I remember saying that it's odd hockey never quite had the popularity in gaming that other sports did, considering you could theoretically combine sports, strategy, and fighting games into one package. Maybe it's because hockey has just never been as big as the big three: football, baseball, and basketball. But still, you think more could be done with it. Mutant League Hockey was a delight, but since then almost all hockey releases have come from the usual suspects, EA Sports and 2K, and those tend to eventually become the same game year after year, just with new updated rosters and maybe a single new gameplay idea. But that stretches back some time, including to our game today, because NHL 96 was indeed made by EA. Well, kinda, because this is where things get complicated. EA Tiburon made the original game for the SNES in 1995, and EA Sports published it. However, EA was not involved much with the Game Boy version. Instead, it was published by THQ and developed by UK developer Probe Entertainment, a company that specialized in ports. Probe eventually got big enough to be bought out by Acclaim Entertainment and was renamed Acclaim Studios London before shutting down in 2000. As I said recently, I don't really miss this aspect of retro gaming, keeping track of which company was publishing what, who had the license this week, who was porting each game. Honestly, I think I prefer the same company making the same game year after year. The box art does something that a lot of EA games do that really annoys me. They have so much box real estate, and they put all the action in a tiny square in the center with white around the edge. It's such a waste. Wait, Black Pearl Software? My god, how many companies worked on this? Will hockey have its time in the sun? Let's check in with NHL 96. EA Sports. It's on the screen. Okay, where does Black Pearl come in? Where did they port it? I didn't find that in any of my research. I did find Probe. NHL 96. I should start by mentioning there was a minute's worth of unskippable credits before this came up. Anyway, NHL 96. Cool looking title screen. Here we go. One game, playoffs, sevens. Shoot, I don't know what those are. Let's just do one game. Wait. The Kraken didn't exist back then, did they? Fine, you'll be fine. Against you. You know what, I better turn penalties off, because I don't know what any of them are. Hi, I'm Bill Brown. Today's game is between the Philadelphia and New Jersey. I like that presentation. Change goalie? Oh, definitely change goalie. We definitely want Connor McLeod in there. I mean, obviously. Alright, let's play. Hockey. Oh, dear God. Do I even need to continue the review? Look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, this is a new level of choppiness. I think I just hit the puck. I don't know. What? Did I do something? Oh, God, the flickering. Oh, God, the dithering. I'm not even kidding when I say I am genuinely tempted. What did I do this time? Icing? Like I was saying, I'm genuinely tempted to just end the review here. This is instantly unplayable. I can't even tell if my button presses are doing anything. Okay, hang on. Oh, God, make it stop. I think they just got the goal, but it genuinely could have been me. I actually cannot tell. Okay, the star, I assume, means that's me selected. Okay, I can vaguely control whoever the star is under. Oh, I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead. Who's on what team? I think we may have found it. I think we may have found the single worst sports game on the Game Boy. Okay, I'm in control for the first time. I can turn. Did I do anything? What? Oh my God. You know, some games should just not be ported. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this is one of them. Okay, B is to pass. A is to shoot. Go in. Oh my God. Alright, I am starting to get a hang of how to play the game. With 11,000 asterisks. The fact that I still am not entirely sure I'm playing this match or not really says all that needs to be said. Okay, I got it. I got the puck. Around and... I just decided I no longer wanted the puck. I'm out of things to say. I'm just in awe watching this. Again, I say watching and not playing because I'm barely playing this. Whoa. They tried to push the well, I was gonna say they tried to push the graphics, but it doesn't even look that good. Is there anything redeemable about this game? The camera's not even focusing on the celebrating players. So, if the graphics aren't that good, and the game plays extremely badly, and the controls are terrible, and there's no music, what did they put time into for this game? What did they do? There's nothing redeemable about this. Where it's so bad, it's shocking. Okay, that was the end of the period. Here, I'm gonna score. Get out of the way. You know what? I think I've had enough. A little bit less than I usually play these games, but, I mean, look at this. Well, Double Dragon 3 and Yoda Stories. Someone has joined you on the list of worst Game Boy games I've ever played. It's kind of a nice feeling, isn't it? To discover the actual, factual bottom of the barrel. Wow, that was awful. I can't even think of a funny joke to open up the end of episode review because nothing I could say could ever be as funny as just watching the game. This wasn't just bad, this was genuine all-time bad. There was not a single redeeming thing in this entire game. The graphics were generic, but those weren't even a factor because the actual performance was so terrible, it was more like a slideshow than a video game. And as far as the gameplay goes, well, I don't use this word lightly, but this game was unplayable. I truly do not know if I was in control of anything at any point. I think I was able to control the character with the star under them, slightly, but it also felt like I could put the controller down and nothing would change. This game is astoundingly awful, which begs the question, why did they even release it? I know I'm overthinking this since the NHL license was sure to bring in any kids who liked hockey, but I just don't see a world in which they playtested this game and decided it was okay for release. This wasn't some indie company putting out an unlicensed Game Boy game, this had EA and THQ attached. Heck, it had the NHL attached. And looking at Probe Entertainment's library, it's astounding that this game, which is one of the worst I've ever seen, was ported by the same company that made one of the best ports I've ever seen, Mortal Kombat 2. I thought you were better than this, Probe, but I guess I was mistaken. NHL 96 immediately takes up a spot next to Yoda Stories and Double Dragon 3 on the list of the all-time worst games I have ever played for the Game Boy. And trust me, that is the only accolade this game is ever gonna get, because it is truly once-in-a-lifetime awful. Oh, and fun fact, they got the license for the teams, but not the players. There, I've said everything, I never have to speak of this game again. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm Brian J, and I'll see you next time.